Hello everybody, we are back for episode 2 of Sakura Succubus. And let us jump right in, shall we? Grab my water. Alright. Push this forward a little bit, okay. Beep, beep, beep. Beep. What? I'm roused from my slumber the following morning by the shrill beeping of my alarm clock. Its tiny cry burrows into every single crevice of my skull. My temples throb, and I groan. My head's killing me. Sadly for me, my alarm doesn't seem to understand how under the weather I am. It's nothing but a machine that's utterly immune to my plight. Beep, beep, beep. The hateful device continues to mock me. I swear it's getting louder with every beep. All right, enough. I sit up on my futon, the covers bunching about my bare legs, and reach out for the clock. I seize it, then turn it off with a satisfying click. Now that my alarm clock's been silenced, I can finally hear myself think. Thank God for that. Move this. There we go. How much did I have to drink last night? Anyway, I press my head against my temple. My hand against my temple. It does little to ease the throbbing pain beneath my fingertips. Speaking of last night, what happened? I can't remember. It's all a blur. I think I went to see the famous idol IU in concert. I didn't see IU because I wanted to. Her music was really not my thing. I did because I had to. It was my job. I brought along my expensive camera equipment, hoping to take a few high-quality pics of IU's performance. But, oh God. I glanced about my bedroom. My clothes are strewn across the floor. My shoulder bag alongside them. I can't remember the precise detail of last night, but I do remember tripping and falling on my ass. I hurt my head and my back, and my bag made enough alarm crunch as I fell on the sidewalk. My camera, did I really break it? I lurch across my room, dragging my futon with me, and clawing my way to my bag. I open it up, praying for the best, while expecting the worst. I'd very much like my hazy recollection of last night to be nothing more than a nightmare, but damn it! The camera scuffed and marked, and the lens is cracked all the way down the middle. It's completely inoperable. Alright, Hiroki, calm down. Maybe the lens is broken, but the camera itself might work. You just need to stay cool. I extracted the heavy camera from my bag with trembling sausage-like fingers and reached for the on-off switch. I press it, heart hammering, awaiting a miracle, but no dice, huh? The camera refuses to turn on. It's given up the ghost completely. Well, that's just peachy. Disgusted, I throw the broken camera back into the bag. It's not like I can damage it more than I already have, and fall back against the titanium floor with a thud. And to think, I wanted to be a photojournalist. Now I'm nothing more than a liability. This morning isn't the most auspicious. I wish I could turn back time, slip beneath my futon, and fall asleep once more. Then I would have to content with the looming fear of losing my job, or this awful headache. At least today's a Sunday. I don't need to go into work until tomorrow. That should give me a bit of time to prepare for the inevitable of my losing my job. That is strange, though. If today's a Sunday, why is my alarm clock on? I usually turn my alarm clock off during the weekends, when I don't have jobs to attend to, like that is. I have to wake up pretty early to commute to work during the weekday, so on the weekends I like to vague out in my futon until midday. Did I turn my alarm clock on before I went to bed? But why? Did past me want to torture present me or something? Do I have a secret sadistic streak or something? Well, given it's on one who given the one I'm the one who set the alarm clock, perhaps it'd be more correct to say Massachusetts. Then again, was I really the one who set the alarm? How did I even get home anyway? I don't remember. After that failed gig, I went out drinking, and then I straightened my brain, struggling to remember. And that's when it hits me, in a sudden burst of instant realization. Wakatsuki Marina. She invited me back to her office. How could I forget that? I enjoyed myself with the famous businesswoman. Wakatsuki Marina, in an attempt to forget my sorrows. Then I passed out. How then I end up back in my apartment? I don't get it. Did last night really happen? Or... I look around my room, searching for some kind of clue. Fortunately, it doesn't take me long to spot it. There, lying next to my alarm clock, is an envelope. Is that from Marina? I open the envelope, then slide out a pure white sheet of paper that reads thus. Dear Hiroki, thank you for drinking with me last night. I had a very good time. I hope your dial-ins proved to be enjoyable for you too. After you passed out in my office, I asked my chauffeur to drive you back home. I found your address on your business card, which was in your wallet. I hope you can forgive me for looking through something so personal. I asked the chauffeur to set your alarm nice and early so you don't oversleep. You drank a good deal last night, and I'm afraid you'll doze the day away if given the opportunity. Remember, the early bird catches the worm. You might disagree with me, but I think it's important to wake up in a timely manner. Don't go back to bed, you hear? I've taken quite an interest in you, and I'm going to whip you into shape if that's the last thing I do. Maybe you could look at it as a pet project of mine. Yours, Marina. P.S. If you're worried about going into work tomorrow, don't be. I have connections, and I'll do all I can to smooth things over. I won't let your boss fire you. You're much too precious. Huh. Well, what do you know? I guess you really did meet Wakazuki Marina last night. It wasn't a weird fever dream after all. I'm not sure what Marina means by her P.S. though. Is she going to talk to my boss from my behalf? That'd be nice of her, but I'm not sure if Watsuzaki Marina would be able to talk my boss over. He's a stubborn old goat. I should prepare for the worst just to be sure. God, my head's throbbing so much it's hard to think. Sorry, Marina, but I think I'm going to go back to bed after all. I shuffle back to my futon and drop gently against the soft cover. This is too much for me to deal with right now. I'm afraid if I don't get any rest, my brain will explode. My life's starting to feel like something more of a TV drama. I just hope whoever is in charge of writing the screenplay of my life will see fit to tone things down a notch come tomorrow. The next day. Safe. I jump onto the train seconds before the automatic doors close. In my haste, I push a couple of businessmen wheeling briefcases to the side, and they tut at me disapprovingly. Sorry, I'm sorry. I apologize to these men, head bowed, as any great youngster should. It's important to remember one's manners, after all, even on a day like this. It's a Monday morning, and the weather is sweltering hot. I awoke a little after 6:30, had a shower, ate a hurried breakfast, pulled on my clothes, then headed to the train station. I got on my train around 7:30 as per usual, and now I'm ready for my daily hour commute to work. If my calculations are right, I should get to work around 8:30, though my workday doesn't technically start until 9 a.m. Well, 9. My boss is a hard ass, and he likes everybody to be present and accounted for early. Far early. It'd be nice if I got paid a little extra for coming in a half an hour early and staying behind hours late, but that's not how the world works. My boss isn't just a hard ass, he's also incredibly stingy. If I could find a better job a little closer to home, I'd accept it in a heartbeat. But it's precisely because I can't find a better job than this I've been stuck at this place for the last 3 years. It's enough to make a man cry, really. Well, when my boss learns full the extent of my failures over the last weekend, I might not have to worry about this commute much longer. Marina said she'd put in a good word for my boss, but I don't know how much weight her reassurance will hold. She might be famous, but my boss isn't the sort of person to be swayed by celebrities. The train sways back and forth, rattling down the track. This particular compartment is full to bursting, and I'm being jolted from all sides by grumpy men and women. The train takes a curve, and I slip backwards. I accidentally stand on a businesswoman's foot, and she glowers at me. Sorry, I'm very sorry. I seem to be upsetting everybody today. Talk about losing friends and alienating people. I try to shuffle away from the woman, but there's nowhere else I can really go. There's barely an inch of free space in this miserable compartment, and my sides being poked and josted with extrusive elbows. It's a hot summer day, and the inside of this overall crowded train feels like a sauna. I already showered once this morning, but I'm sweating already. I hope I don't smell bad. Time ticks by far too slowly. The train pulls in at a stop, and mercifully, a few people get off, including the woman whose foot I stepped on. Finally, I can breathe. But not for long. A new influx of people get on the train, more than making up for those who stepped off. Now the compartment even more crowded than ever. I'm hemmed in by the doors, a businessman behind me and a young girl to the front. Josh would like this. I can't see the girl's face, but I had to wager a guess at her age. I'd put her in her early 20s. She isn't wearing a school uniform, which rules out the possibility she's a high school student. Maybe she attends a local university. Her hair is dyed a crazy shade of blue, and she's wearing a pink jacket coupled with a pair of very, very short shorts. She's pressed against me so intimately I can smell her. She, unlike the other grumpy commuters on this train, smells fresh and sweet. Now I'm aware of how good this mystery girl smells. I'm more anxious than ever about what I might smell of. Silly though it is. Like to make a good impression on her. I can't see her face, but I'm sure she's cute. Only a cute girl would wear shorts as daringly tiny as hers. I imagine the girl in my head, as I often do during my commute to work. I mean, it's not like there's anything else I can do. I fashion her with a pair of large eyes, fringed with long lashes, and a button nose. She'll have pierced lips, pink like cherry blossoms, and two sweetly blushing cheeks, and a nice body. I don't even need to wonder what her body's like, because I can feel it pressed against me. It's possible that this could be an honest mistake on the girl's part, but now she's moaning. Oh, great. I want to escape before things escalate any further, but that's impossible. The train's too busy. This girl has me trapped, and she must know it. How am I gonna wiggle out of this one? Hey, I draw closer to the girl. A risky move, I know, and bring my lips to her ear. You might not be aware of this, but I swallow. You're kind of pressing against me. I hope that this is some sort of misunderstanding. With a bit of luck, the girl will squeak in alarm and back away, her face burning. I'd like to resolve this problem peacefully, without disturbing the people around us, but I know. The girl replies swiftly with a narrow trace of embarrassment in her tone. What do you mean, you know? I know what I'm doing. You do? Then why don't you stop? I don't want to. This is too much fun. This might be fun for you, making me squirm, but this is a real problem for me. It's a problem. You don't like it? I'm afraid I like it. Okay. I'm afraid I like it a little too much. No, it's not that. I like it more than I should. If this keeps going, we'll both be in trouble. Really? Yes, really. This is dangerous, so I don't get it. If you like it, we should keep going. I want to make you happy. I'm not getting through to her at all. In fact, I think I might have made things worse. Marina wasn't joking. You smell incredibly good. I just want to be close to you. Hiroki. She knows him. Haha. I make my way to work, the soles of my shoes slapping against the sidewalk. After the little incident on the train, I felt obliged to get off a few stops earlier than usual. I couldn't bring myself to stay on the train, surrounded by all those good men and women after everything I've done. It would have been way too embarrassing. I gasped for air as I wend my way through Tokyo's busy streets. Men and women in business attire throng about me, and verbally armies of high school students in their crisp white uniforms chat and giggle excitedly. They all look so young and carefree. The girls with her plaited hair and blue plaid skirts, and the boys with their sports bags slung over their shoulders and their scuffed black shoes. What I wouldn't give to be a teen again. They don't know how easy they have it. My encounter with this mysterious girl on the train might have taken my mind off things for a few minutes. Did our liaison truly finish so fast? But now doubts are starting to catch up with me. It doesn't matter how quickly I walk, I can't outstep my fears. What am I going to do when I see my boss? What is he going to say? My head might as well be on a chopping block. This day is shaping up to be a crazy one, and it's not even 9 yet. I've only been awake for a handful of hours. Maybe when I get to work, I'll find my boss has transformed into a cute girl. That's quite a disturbing thought, actually. You know what? Let's not pursue this train of thought any longer. Really, though. If I get to work and find my garrulous, ill-tempered boss has transformed into a cute girl overnight, I wouldn't even be surprised. After this point, it'd be just one more drop in the ever-expanding ocean. But to my relief, though not necessarily surprised, Agasawara, what do you have to say for yourself? My boss has not turned into a cute girl after all. He looks just like an ill-tempered as always, if not more. I'm only just arrived in the office. I've yet to set down my bag and sit at my desk, but he's already given me an earful. He careened into the office the moment he heard me open the door. He must have been waiting for me to make my grand entrance, like a fan eagerly awaiting the beginning of AU's concert. Well, like AU, loyal constituents of fans, my boss isn't holding a glow stick or wearing a shirt with my face on it. If he was, I'd be pretty freaked out, not gonna lie. Instead, he's holding a cup of coffee in one hand, a scowl upon his face. Judging by his expression and the way he's shaking, he'll spill that coffee if he's not careful. He's preparing himself for the mother of all the rants. I am so busted. Well, don't just stand there, going, "Oh, you gormless Creighton? You know what you've done. Where's my apology?" I'm sorry, boss. Sorry won't cut it, and you know that. Then why did you ask me to apologize in the first place? That's what I'd like to say. But I know, given the circumstances, it'd be better not to infuriate him further. My boss has never hit anybody before, though secretly I think he'd be quite like to. But the streaming cup of coffee in his hand is quite concerning, steaming. It would be very, very easy for him to accidentally slip in his rage and pour it all down my front. I asked you to get some photos of you for an upcoming news piece, and you've buggered it all up. Where are my photos, huh? I'm sorry, there was a few technical issues. The trains were delayed, and that's no excuse. As a photographer, know as an employee, it's your duty to see to it that you accomplish all of your jobs, regardless of the external circumstances. So the trains were delayed, so what? You should have used your head. Why didn't you hire a taxi? It was too late for that. The train broke down. I got on it in time. But nothing. The boss slams his cup of coffee down on my desk. A few brown droplets of scalding coffee fly over the rim of the cup and splatter on a stack of documents. I guess I'm going to have to clean that up later. That is, if this desk is still mine by the end of the morning. The more my boss rants and raves, the more unlikely that's beginning to look. A few of my work colleagues have been alerted by the noise because they're peeking at us curiously. One of my workmates gives me a sympathetic smile while another looks coldly amused by my plight. I guess it's alright for them. Lucky so and so's. I've had it up to here with you, Agasawara. I have no need for an employee who can't do his job. You're a failure. And to cap it all off, you broke an expensive piece of company equipment. I stare at my boss. He could have deducted my failure to take any pics of AU, given my failure to upload them to the cloud over the weekend. But how does he know about the camera? I haven't told him about that yet. I was saving that a bit of news till last. I thought it'd be a nice way to cap off this awful morning. The cherry on top of the shit sundae, if you please. Somebody must have told him about the camera already. But who? Was it Marina? Did she really call my boss up and beg for his pardon? If so, I commend her efforts, but my boss doesn't look at all moved by her pleas. His face is getting redder by the second. I'm afraid he's going to explode like an overinflated weather balloon. When I heard that, I just about hit the roof. How could you be so careless? That camera is worth more than your life. Our deadlines have all been pushed back because of your carelessness. How do you feel about that, huh? I look at my feet, my voice dropping to a whisper. I'm very sorry, sir. What did you say? My boss leans in, cupping his ears with his hand. Speak up, boy. I can't hear you. I said, even more of my colleagues are watching me now. They're not even trying to hide their amusement. I bet they're all laughing at my expense. People can be so cruel. I'm very sorry, sir. Really, I am. I know my behavior was inexcusable. Indeed, it was. Not only did you make a hash of a simple job, but you also destroyed a piece of company equipment. I should have you fired for that, at the very least. But I'm a lenient man. Yes, boss, you're right. I'll have my desk cleared out right away and... What? Wait, what? You heard what I said. My boss folds his arms, his expression sullen. You've worked at this company for 3 years. During this time, you've been a model employee. It's rare that I've had to cause to get on your case, unlike various other people in this room. My boss shoots a pointed glance at a few of my other coworkers who are still listening to my supposed dressing down. Now that they realize most of the drama has passed, they seem to have lost interest. A couple of them blush, suitably chastised as they return to their work, while a few others pout and click their tongues. Did they want me to be out of a job? This office is full of vultures. In general, I have no real complaints with you. Last Saturday was an unfortunate blip, shall we say, in your otherwise spotless performance. If you were a newbie, I'd be inclined to fire you over this. But I don't want to cast one of my valued employees out into the cold over a couple of mishaps. Then does that mean... Yes, indeed, I'm giving you another chance, Agasawara, but you're on thin ice. Don't betray my trust again, or you'll be sorry. I don't like being made a fool out of. I'm going to work you to the bone. Be prepared to put in the hours to make up for your atrocious blunder. Do you hear me? Oh, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I bow deeply to my boss, cringing at my own superciliousness all the while. Only a few seconds ago, I was insulting this guy in my head, calling him an asshole. I'm so two-faced. Maybe my boss isn't quite as hard as I thought, but he is still a businessman at the end of the day. I doubt he'll make this call if he didn't have ulterior motives. Now I'm curious. What's going to happen about the camera? Will the cost of replacing it be taken from my own wages? About the camera. It's a funny story, that. The boss massages his quivering chin in thought. That would be standard company policy, yes, but you can rejoice. Agasawara, you must have a guardian angel. An angel, sir? Indeed. She called the office this morning when I got in for work, and she explained the whole sorry affair to me. At first, I was incredulous. I thought it was some kind of prank, but she was very persuasive. Still, my boss shakes his head, bemused. I can't believe that you know Watsutsuki Marina for such a plain, unassuming man. You've got a surprising amount of connections. So Maria really did call my boss. That wasn't just talk. I don't know Marina at all well, but she already done a lot for me. I have to wonder what she sees in me and how I'm going to repay her. How do you get into her good graces? The two of you childhood friends? Oh no, I've only known her a day. Really? My boss snorts. Well, you must have made quite the impression. She offered to pay for the equipment you damaged in full. She wired the money over to the company bank account shortly after our phone call. She also told me that she's familiar with Ayu, she offered to set up a private meeting between you and her so you can take a photo of her uninterrupted. What do you think about that? Ah, once more, words fail me. I stare at my boss in silence, slack-jawed, surprised, unable to articulate more than a handful of broken syllables. I clear my throat, then try again. Is that date of this meeting fixed? Yes, indeed. Miss Wakazuki put me through to Miss Aiku's agency, and they were only too happy to oblige. You'll be seeing Miss Aiku this weekend, alone, on her private beach in Okinawa. We'll fly you out there, of course. Miss Wakazuki very kindly offered to foot the bill. I'll mail the full details over to you later. But that's about the gist of things. You've been given an amazing opportunity, so don't screw this up. You have a chance to take as many photos of Miss Aiku as you want. And while you're at it, you might as well interview her. This could be your big break. Give it your all. Won't accept anything less than 110%. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. I bow and escape the bosses anew. Scrap to my boss anew, amazed by the wealth of possibilities that have landed on my lap. I'm going to see you again this weekend on a private beach in Okinawa, no less. As a mere member of the Hoi Polio, I've never been to a private beach before. I'm starting to feel like a celeb myself. Marina really has come through for me. Not only did she pay for the camera I smashed, but she's managed to fix up a meeting between Ayu and I. My boss was right for once. Marina really is like a guardian angel. She's a dark-skinned, fair-haired angel, and I owe her, if not my life, then my job. My immediate future has been secured, but I can't afford to get complacent. There's still my meeting with Ayu to contend with. If I'm going to impress both Marina and my boss, I need to do my best. Now I've been saddled with all these responsibilities, I don't want to let anybody down. The rest of the day goes by in a blur. I'm still reeling after my conversations with my boss, and nothing feels quite real. Thanks to my failure on Saturday, we have to scramble to put together a new article in lieu of the one about Ayu that be suspended until next week. I ended up working overtime, and it's dark when I finally leave the office. Jeez, my boss is such a slave driver. You'd think he'd be a bit more considerate given my connections with the Neve Ricci. I've barely had a chance to sit down all day. Yawning, I check my phone. It's a little after 21. I should be at home hours ago. I should have been at home hours ago. Oh well, I might be tired now, but my job's secure and I have my weekend's retreat at Okinawa to look forward to. With a bit of luck, things will work out all right. Then I'll get a bevy of photos that'll please my boss. That should put me in his good books. Maybe he'll even let me go home on time for a change. That would be great. That would be a treat. For the present, however, I'm absolutely gagging for a drink. That might help soothe my nerves. I don't think so, bud. With this thought in mind, I board the train for a few stops. Then I head to the same bar where I first met Marina. While it's true I want something to drink, part of me is hoping I'll run into my benefactress once more. And fortunately, for me, luck was on my side. Marina is sitting at the bar, one tone lay crossed over the other, just like it was during our first encounter. Her fair hair falls over her shoulders, and she nurses a glass in one hand. When she sees me, she smiles and she waves me over. Why, hello, handsome. Fancy seeing you here. It's a small world. It's just a coincidence. I felt like dropping by on the way home from work. Really? Marina inclines her head, a knowing smile playing about her lips. That's funny. I was under the impression that your workplace was a good half hour away on the other side of the Samita River. Surely there are bars closer by you could frequent, if alcohol's all you want. I had a business to attend to on the other side of the city. That's all. Don't read too much into it. If you say so, dear. Marina laughs carelessly. I can tell by her tone she doesn't believe a word I'm saying. Not that that's very surprising. I don't believe a word I'm saying either. I'm such a terrible liar. Why can't I tell Marina I was looking for her? I appreciate everything she did for me, and I want to thank her. Truly, I do. She really did save my neck. But admitting that aloud, particularly in a crowded bar like this, would be embarrassing. God, I'm so stubborn. I went out of my way to find her, but now I'm clamoring up. I'm acting just like a little kid. Maybe Marina can read my thoughts. It hasn't been the first time I've pondered this, because she rests a hand against my own and says softly, "It's all right, Hiroki. You don't need to tell me why you came here. I can tell." Am I that easy to read? Yes, indeed. Most men are. Don't take it too personally. Marina titters. You don't need to thank me for helping you, which is just as well given the words thank you have yet to cross my lips. Maybe I need to lube my throat with alcohol first. I helped you because I wanted to. You're a very interesting man, and I am awfully fond of you. Talking your boss around was easy enough. He's full of bluster, but it's all an act. His obstreperous melted away with a few choice words from yours truly. You did more than whisper sweet nothings in his ear. He told me you gifted a sizable chunk of money to our company, and you set up a private meeting between myself and you. Well, what can I say? Marina shrugs. I have wealth and connections. It would be a shame not to use them. Man, rich people are something else entirely. With enough cash, you can open up almost any door. I'm kind of jealous, to be honest. But more than that, I'm incredibly thankful. I can understand using your wealth and connections for your own sake, but why bother wasting them on a loser like me? I'm a nobody. Now, I'll have less of this self-defeating nonsense. Marina squeezes my hand with her own. You might consider yourself a nobody, but I find you quite intriguing. I'd like to dote you up. Jesus Christ. Let me try that again. I'd like to dote upon you if I can, so don't worry your pretty little head. You say that, but I still have no idea why you want me to dote on me. I've done nothing to deserve it, and we're virtual strangers. Why you say? It's simple. It's because you're cute. Huh? For a genius businesswoman, her reasoning is surprisingly simple. Is she going to elaborate on my supposed cuteness? I'm very curious to see how a member of the opposite sex regards me. It might be a good learning experience. Your reactions are utterly charming, and you're so sincere. I couldn't help but be enticed by you the moment our eyes met. You're like special pastry in the window of a high-end bakery. Being with you like this is making me salivate. If I can use my influence to help you, I won't hesitate. It's a small price to pay to see you smile, dear. Now, won't you stop grossing and let me pamper you? Yes, Mommy. What the fuck? I answered flatly without humor, which makes Marina laugh. I suppose I am mothering you, in a sense, though I don't know if I'd like being called that. If you want to show me a suitable measure of respect, you could call me Madam, or no, that sounds too formal. What about Mistress? Mistress? Yes, indeed. I quite like taking charge. If you want to show how grateful you are for my help, I prefer if you did it physically. I trust you have no objections. I stare into Maria's eyes. They're green just like the jade earrings suspended from her neatly formed earlobes, and the turquoise vest which stretches across her chest. Marina's is so attractive I feel lightheaded. I have no idea how I got so lucky, but I'd be a fool if I refuted her advances. I'm already starting to get excited. Alright then, we can go back to your office if that's what you want. I guess I wouldn't mind either. I know I can be awkward, but I'm not used to people doing favors for me. My parents were pretty strict, so I got used to working things out on my own. I'm still not used to relying on others, so I find it hard to accept people's help. I'm bad at thanking people, too. It's hard to find the right words. But I really do appreciate everything you've done, Marina. I think you're wonderful. Well, isn't that sweet? Marina laughs, her voice sultry, and pushes her bust against my arm. Thank you for trusting me with a bit of your backstory, Hiroki. I promise I'll take good care of you. You're special like nobody else, and I want to make you feel good. Oh, God. Now that was quite the workout. I feel invigorated. Don't you think my skin looks a little prettier? My cheeks are positively glowing. Love really is a miracle drug. I feel much stronger now. Foo-foo. Ha, ah. Marina might be in a good mood, but I feel downright exhausted. I'm slumped on the floor of her office, boneless, as I was on a Saturday night, more like Sunday morning, wearing nothing but my underwear. My head rests on Marina's lap, my eyes focus vaguely upon her pretty face. She's had propriety to put her business clothes back on after our trust. I can't see much of her skin, but that hardly matters. I've already seen almost all of her there is to see. Are you alright, dear? Marina runs her fingers through my hair, a contented smile playing about her lips. You're breathing quite heavily. I'll live, at least. I should hope so. I'd rather fond of you, and I would be devastated if you died so quickly. I haven't had my fill of fun just yet. Then again, I suppose I should prepare for the worst. You humans are awfully fragile. I'm surprised you've been able to keep pace with me for 2 whole nights. Few can say that. The fullness of Marina's thighs, coupled with her sing-song voice, is lulling me to sleep. But something about her words strikes me as rather strange. I blink at her, curious, my brow furrowed. What do you mean, you humans? Oh my. Marina blinks innocently. Did I really say that? Yes, you did. It was clear as day. You said, you humans are awfully fragile. Now that I think about it, hasn't Marina said that other things to that effect? Back then I shrugged off her words as the musing of an eccentric millionaire, but now I'm starting to get suspicious. In fact, everything that's happened these last few days have been downright fishy. Bumping into a coup was surprising enough. But what about Marina? What about the girl on the train? And speaking of the girl on the train, Marina wasn't joking. You smell incredibly good. My memory's a little hazy, but I'm sure she said that. She mentioned Marina's name. Who was she, and why did she know Marina? Something's definitely going on. I've become the unassuming epicenter of a whole bunch of strange encounters, and now I want to get to the bottom of this. If anybody knows what's up here, it'll be Marina. I just want to know. What's happening to me? Oh dear. Marina tuts. You must have had too much to drink. Nothing's happening to you other than a healthy amount of excitement. I have been having fun. It's true, but things just aren't adding up. I'm a normal guy, but my life's been strictly abnormal ever since I used concert. I maneuver myself off Maria's lap with no small amount of effort, then shoot her a quizzical look. You're not the only attractive woman who's shown an interest in me, Ayu. Ayu seemed to be happy enough to cling to me before she got mad and called me a pervert. And then on the train to work this morning, this weird girl started flirting with me. If you can call what she did flirting. Strange girl. Did she have short blue hair? Yes, that's right. And was she wearing a very, very tight pair of shorts? Yes, they were so shamelessly short. By that sounds of it, seems like you had the pleasure of running into Cosmos. Cosmos? Is that the name of the girl or the train? I believe so, yes. Performing indecent actions on a busy train does seem like the sort of thoughtless thing she'd do. She has no common sense. None of this makes any sense. Before last Saturday, I seemed to repel women. My life's done a total 180, and I have no idea what's going on. It's all too much to be a coincidence. You're working yourself into quite a lather, dear. Don't let it get to you too much. I'm trying not to, but it's a lot to take in. You don't know what's happening, do you, Marina? I might have an idea, yes. Marina toys with a lock on her silvery hair, a small smile playing about her lips. At first, I intended to keep quiet about all this, but I'm awfully fond of you, and I hate to see you squirm, so you've been a very, very good boy, so I can let you in on a little secret. Make sure you keep it to yourself, though. It's highly classified information that could shake the core of society as you humans know it. Marina leans in, her lips inches away from my ear, and she whispers, the truth is, I'm a succubus. A succubus? I stare at Marina, utterly dumbstruck. Of all the things she could have said, I didn't think for a second she'd say something like that. This isn't a joke, is it? You're not really a succubus, are you? Oh my, are you saying you don't believe me? That makes me very sad, Hiroki. Marina sniffs as though heartbroken, and she turns her head away. I believe I made my fond feelings for you more than apparent over the last few days. I would never ever lie to you, particularly not over my own nature. This is closely guarded secret, and you know I don't tell humans my true identity willy-nilly. You're the first to hear the truth. You could act a bit more grateful. Yes, mistress. I'm sorry, mistress. I bow my head a bit abashed. I don't want to upset Marina, but I can't shake the niggling doubt that this is nothing more than a prank. I mean, a succubus, really? I'm sorry, but why? But when you say you're a succubus, does that mean you're a monster that takes advantage of me? I am no monster. Marina pouts cutely, her arms folded across her chest. Do I look monstrous to you? Would any wicked beast have a body as gorgeous as mine? No, I guess not. You don't look much like a monster, but you don't really look like a succubus either. Not that I know what a succubus is supposed to look like. They're not exactly commonplace like cats and dogs. I'm still not sure what you to think about this. It's quite overwhelming, to be honest. I suppose that's fair enough. Humans aren't supposed to know about our kind, after all. This must have come as quite a shock to you. I should have known you wouldn't believe me that easily. You're not an incredulous child. Humans in the 21st century live in an era of logic and reason. That being the case, it's my job to show proof of my claims. Then you won't be able to deny what I really am. I would never normally show my real form to anybody, but you're special. I like you a lot, Hiroki. And that's why I'm going to give you a little treat. Reina clicks her fingers and her visage suddenly shifts. Damn. She's hot as fuck. Horns sprout from Maria's scalp, and a bat-like wings unfurl from her back. Her clothes, too, have undergone quite the transformation. Before, Marina was clad in her business attire, but now she's wearing something even more risque. Red ropes wind about her body, and black leather is vacuum sealed about her arms and legs. She looks unbelievably hot, and that's heightened further by the tail which protrudes between her chest. You see? Marina shoots me a sultry look, her eyes half-lidded. I'm not a normal human, I really am a succubus, and it's not just me. You and Cosmos are succubus too, and so are numerous other attractive, successful women all across the world. What? I try to say something semi-sensible, but words fail me. This twist has completely blindsided me, robbing me of my speech face facilities. My brain is starting to overheat, much like the overused photocopier at work. This is really incredible. You say that the world is full of succubus just like you? Yes, indeed. We've been living amongst humans since the dawn of time. Many of society's most famous, revered women have been succubi. Like Cleopatra, for instance. So I wonder how few people knew about it, really. Marina's fingers sink into the full mounds of her chest. She manipulates her breast about her tail, grinning all the time. Grinning for a while. I can't deny Maria's a succubus any longer. Not now I can see her wings, her horns, and her tail. That'd be akin to burying my head in the sand. I can't argue against my own eyes, but I do have a few questions I'd like to ask. It might sound gauche, but I'm burning with curiosity here. I thought succubus were meant to be inmate with humans to stay alive. Intimate with humans to stay alive. Is that true? We succubus don't need to do such things to sustain ourselves, but we do need to be reverted. That's why so many of us are in positions of power, but in business, politics, or the entertainment industry. We need to be loved and adored. If we're not, we'll lose all our magical powers. We'll lose our good looks, we'll start to age like humans do, and then we'll wither away. We succubus work long and hard to keep you humans in our thrall. That's why I've sacrificed so much for my business. It's why Ayu pushes herself to be Japanese #1 idol, and it's why Cosmos, well, I can't pretend I understand her particular line of work. In any event, we succubi are much more than lazy moochers. We're hard-working, active members of society. We do our best to demand respect, and the more our fame grows, the stronger our powers get. That being said, we do have a lot of stamina. We're well versed in giving humans pleasure, and there are certain humans who attract our attention more than others. Some humans have uniquely sweat scents, like ripened juicy fruits. These humans call to us. When we succubus find humans who resonate with us, we do all we can to make them ours. You are one such human, Hiroki. You call yourself average and ordinary, but your smell is incredibly addictive. In all my years of living on Earth, I've never met a human more delicious than you. I knew the moment I met you that I wanted to make you mine, but I wasn't the only one. After talking with you, it seems your scent had quite the influence upon her, too. Just one whiff of you made her lose her self-control. She was this close, Marina gestures with her fingers, to making you her own. Oh, right. This remark might seem a little inadequate in the face of this information overload, but what else am I supposed to say? I have no idea how I meant to react. In less than 5 minutes, I've learned that succubi exist and that I possess some sort of smell that marks me out as being particularly tasty. That explains why all these attractive women are falling over themselves to be with me, but it all seems a bit too convenient. If I'm really that attractive, then why didn't any succubi try to proposition me before? Maybe they did and you didn't realize what they were. You have been in a relationship before, have you? I guess so, yeah. I'm no alpha male, but I've had relationships in the past. I'm not crass enough to keep count, but I've slept with at least half a dozen girls. My longest relationship was in university. It lasted for a couple months. My girlfriend was all over me, to such an extent it was kind of scary. She used to break into my room at night to watch me sleep, and sometimes she'd try to grab me in the middle of the lecture. In the end, I broke it off with her. Her enthusiasm was flattering at first, but after a while it got a bit too much. Was she a succubus too? I wouldn't be surprised if you've attracted several succubus in your time. In fact, I'd be more surprised if you hadn't. You're incredibly cute, Hiroki. I've only known you a few days, but I'm incredibly fond of you. I want to make you mine. But therein lies a problem. My sisters must have heard me talking about you with a you. They're awful gossips, really. Whenever I find a handsome boy to play with, they try to steal him away from me. It's like a sort of game. It seems like Cosmos has already found you. I doubt she'll be the last. My sisters will all start coming after you, desperate to claim your heart. I hope that you have enough stamina to handle all of us. As a succubus, I don't mind sharing my conquests, but fielding off the advance of numerous succubi might just be enough to break you. You have an unusual amount of stamina, but you're still a human at the end of the day, and you're far more fragile than you look. If my sisters get too rowdy, I'll try to discipline them. I don't want them to break you completely, but you'll need to toughen up too. Please don't let me down, my dear Hiroki. I've expended a lot of time and money on you already, so it would be a shame if it fell apart so quickly. Foo, 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 foo. And that is what we're going to call it for episode 2. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. I appreciate the ones that will stop by. We're going to keep the series going as long as I don't get banned off of YouTube. But, yeah. It's that time where I must bid you all adieu. Goodbye, and good night.